gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO.
Base race? It's a base race! They're marching, they're flashing, they're gonna go for this one! I don't believe this! I do not believe this!
Only aim for perfection. Ain't no half stepping. I'm gonna take you back. Spitting facts, you gotta live with that.
Woo!
No problem. In the city.
Champagne!
Do or die, it's either all or nothing. Best believe I'm leaving out with something. Anytime I got the crowd jumping. Throwing waves, know they fist.
Just evaporated. Gudo locking them all in place, linking up with Kiyose. That's an ace!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. We got a big week of games and it's the last week of the regular split. I'm so keen to see the games that are coming up and I'm so keen to see who's going to be bringing you all the action. It's not just me, it's Kitty, it's Skimmy and it's Rusty and they're all so bloody pumped for the final week of this split.
So pumped, man. Can you tell in my enthusiasm just then?
Yep.
So pumped.
Yeah, I thought everyone else
Not
would try
still
to
on the
match
way
me.
down from a really nice meal that like simmered me out for the next 20 minutes, but I'll catch up to you.
Very true, very true. Now, can you guys hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
that was me. No, I just pulled my microphone out. Anyway, we're back in, we're going. We're having a good bunch of fun here. But look, last week there were some crazy things, and it did mean that we have 5 teams locked into the playoffs after everything that went down. So let's quickly look back at what happened at these games. What are the highlights from last week that you guys want to talk about?
I just think it's impressive the fact that Kanga have made it. The fact that they have actually evolved from Split 1 when arguably we thought they would have had a stronger roster, right? You had the likes of Changin only in the mix of things. We're thinking they were going to be definitely going blow for blow with the likes of Direwolves. It's almost changed around, but both teams now still at the forefront of making it. Both teams are secured for playoffs, which is awesome. And they've made a number of roster swaps. It just feels like roster swaps can be such a dicey thing, but every single time they've done it, it's got better.
They've also, 4 wins in a row now for Kanga. They were definitely the heroes of week 9 of the LCO. The other standout to me throughout the entirety of that week was that Peace put their best performance up yet, and the Chiefs looked the most challenged that we've seen from them yet. However, the tragedy of timing there for Peace is they looked their best. Their game, they got eliminated from playoff contention. So the team that challenged the Chiefs is no longer going to pose a threat come playoffs.
Yeah, a little bit sad that we have had to say, goodbye to Peace for the first time out of every split in the LCO so far. So this is going to be their first playoffs that they've actually missed. However, they can still play spoiler to a couple of things this week. They can still have, a good time with some of the games coming up as well. But look, as you mentioned, Kanga, definitely the big success story shining through there. And have a look at it. These are your top 5 for the playoffs. We got Kanga, we got PGG, Direwolves, Order, and the Chiefs, who are still sitting pretty at the top, 19-0, and they are hunting for that perfect split. 21-0 is what they're looking for if they win both these games this week. Down the bottom, of course, we got Peace, we got Mammoth, and we got Gravitas, all of which have been playing relatively well. We've seen Gravitas even start to perform a little bit better, but still, unfortunately, that has not converted into a win. But let's have a look at today's games and what we're going to be showing you guys here on the LCO. 6 p.m, first game up. We got Chiefs, we got Direwolves, and we got a bloody show on our hands. All these games today are looking stunning. That second one is, of course, the match of the week. That's Kanga up against Order. If Kanga win, that can make some crazy things, start to happen going forward for the next 2 days in terms of, where people are going to sit on the ladder, if we're going to have tiebreakers necessary going into playoffs, but we're not quite there yet, so let's see how that game goes. 8 p.m. at Mammoth and Gravitas, battle of the bottom of the table, and then at 9 p.m. we got PGG and Peace, so we'll see if Peace can maybe snatch away a sneaky dub there.
Yeah, it's the battle of 2021, isn't it, right, when the LCO will begun, so that's always a really exciting matchup, despite what forms either teams can be in. That always, in my opinion, seems to deliver, and certainly a way for us to see a potential upset.
Yeah, certainly can. Now let's have a look at the 3 big games to watch. So we have that match of the week, but also these 3 extra ones. So we got Order and Kanga, which is the only of these 3 games on today. If Kanga beats Order, then that's when things can start to go a little bit haywire in terms of the tiebreakers. Kanga and Chiefs tomorrow, that can also throw a little spanner in the works. And then Mammoth and Order with that 9 p.m. game tomorrow is important for Mammoth to win for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, basically you're looking at games to watch for the potential of tiebreakers, right? So the TLDR of this is if all of the other expected results happen, Kanga winning both of their games and Mammoth winning could put us in a 4-way tiebreaker, which is obviously very exciting. Everyone would be interested in having that one, but there's also plenty of possibilities for 3-way ties, and we'll keep you up to date as we go through and need to discuss them. But these are the 3 big games that you should have on your radar, particularly Order versus Kanga today.
There's even I think it was a 3% chance for there to be a 4-way tie as well, with everyone under the Chiefs there. But, 3%, that's just very low. That's just so
I'm
low.
investing, Mac.
I mean, Kanga made it to playoffs, so anything can happen.
Anything could happen. Now, let's have a talk about this match of the week. Second game today, Order and Kanga. You see it on your screens there. Make sure you don't miss it. 7 p.m. I'm keen. I'm so damn keen because Kanga, they've been tested a few times now, but they're still currently on this win streak, and no one's been able to stop them so far. But Order, maybe that first team, of course, they are sitting in second on the leaderboard, and then Kanga tomorrow, of course, have Chiefs. So the real test going into playoffs.
Yeah, big thing for me is that Kanga have never, ever been an Order, right? They're the new kids on the block, so a big ask to see, right? Because now the spotlight is on them, having made playoffs for the first time themselves.
Yeah.
Can they get their win, and can they actually get themselves into the upper bracket, Mac?
And if you guys want to watch at least a couple of these playoffs games live, make sure you're at DreamHack because there's going to be 2 of these games there, one on the Friday, one on the Sunday. It's going to be so much fun. And if you haven't already got your bloody tickets, lco.gg/DreamHack to make sure you get them. We'll all be there. We'll all be having a whole bunch of fun. Make sure you're there as well because Rusty said he's got a special surprise for you guys.
Yeah, I totally said that. I do. Yeah, that's crazy. Even I didn't know it was happening.
So surprising.
Till now.
He'll give you an
Super
identical
surprising.
jacket like this.
I will not.
And you can be twinsies.
But you could
I could.
if you prepared it.
But
Then
you
they'd
won't.
have to be a dream hack for that.
They certainly
True.
would. And if you're not there, then you'll never even get a chance of even thinking about getting the identical jacket or Rusty even giving away that one. Who knows? Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it
This one
won't.
away.
I'm just having a look. No, I'm not getting daggers yet, so that's all right. Other way, patch notes. We're on a new patch this week going into playoffs, and there's just so much going on. And guess what? Neela, welcome to the bloody show.
Yeah, Neela, really cool champion. Not Nyla, as Rusty will call me out
It's
on, but
Neela.
definitely is Neela. Really cool champion. Obviously, the passive is severely broken in the fact that you will be able to rush level 6 quite quickly. Definitely going to be wrangling your support to not go roaming anytime soon. Hit 6, have that big power spike with the Apotheosis. Try and pretend to be a bit of an Orianna cosplayer, but certainly going to be one of the, I suppose, more critical chance hyperscaling champions, right? Your entire kit, or essentially your Q and your ult, are going to scale off crit chance. What did you mention before? Like 56% or something crazy with the LDR coming online of armor pen. So tanks just won't exist. Your water whip, your Nene, you get it done.
Yes, I think it was 3 items that I looked at LDR with your passive. I think it's on your Q or just your base passive for how much
Q,
armor
yeah.
pen you have. It's a lot. The thing about Nila is that, and you'll realize this watching her, is that there's a lot of assumed information that the pros will get that you might have to infer as a viewer. She can be quite confusing, but the biggest thing that stands out is I think we will see her, and remember that she is basically a melee champion until she hits the water whip, and then she becomes a little bit more range, but is still effectively a low range champion. So can be very heavily punished, but can be insanely good.
Yeah, the amount of times I've ganked Neela's in pubs and just my damage doesn't exist, it's been ruining me. Either way, look, we'll see that hopefully today. Let's move on to the rest of the 12.14 patch notes. We got buffs, we got nerfs, we've even got a couple of adjustments here. But, Kitty, take me through these nerfs because I'm seeing a few enchanters there.
There are 3 enchanters in the nerf slot, so can we please get an L in the chat for Kitty's death during this patch? So let's start with Gnar, because Gnar has been quite the popular pick in the LCO, where he's blind picked it for a lot of these teams. But I believe it's just a tiny nerf where his base health does get reduced, so he doesn't have such a free lane in that early game. And moving on, we do have Renata also with a base health nerf, which is also just trying to get her early game, I think paired with a Kalista, just a bit weaker because we do have the base AD nerfed as well. But Siva is the most prominent one out of the list because I believe that she's the most popular ADC in the current patch, where I believe her Q scaling got nerfed with attack speed, and the most notable one is that her W damage to minions got nerfed quite a bit. I believe it was 80% from the ricochet to 65 correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I read it wrong. My glasses are not working correctly today. And Yumi is finally getting enough. Rusty is celebrating on the side. You guys can't see, but he's definitely smiling right now with her heal. I
Nice
believe
smile,
all
kitty.
heal has been nerfed in 12.14. And we do have Zeri with the Q nerf with her Zap, where I believe it's to the point where Zeri used to be able to set up her own CS under tower, but with this Q nerf, I think the support just needs to help her out a little bit in those early games so she gets her CS properly.
Okay, now Rusty, take me through these buffs as well, because I know you were begging me early to talk about J4.
Yeah, I really only want to talk about Jarvan here. I'll cover the rest of the list, but I think Jarvan can be picked as a support right now. I actually believe that. I think with the nerfs to a lot of things on this patch, 1, tankiness, 2, sustain that comes from potions that we'll talk about later, and the combination of him being buffed with cooldowns on his E, and even in a prior patch had some buffs to damage on, I think it was base on Q and maybe the E. I think the Jarvan can unironically be a support right now, which is very fun to watch because he just builds Zonias and engages permanently. So that's everyone's dream as a viewer for a support champion. LeBlanc back in meta is also another big thing. We've seen it from Order, but you could expect to see it now from most of the league. And Pantheon is the other big name in this list where I think Pantheon can actually be a standout jungler right now. And maybe, I don't know how quick LCO is on the uptake, could be pick ban, 100%.
Okay. I guess we'll see if that one happens when we get towards the games today. And now finally the adjustments. Skimmy, tell me who's been adjusted, what's been adjusted, and why they're adjusted.
Yeah, so you got 3 champions, Aatrox, Kayn, and the Wukong. Healing adjustments have been made to them, so Wukong more passive regen, less on his passive himself, right, from actually, forcing some combat trades. Red Kayn, a little bit too strong, especially with the Grievous wounds being nerfed, so they've tapped that down just a fraction. Same for Aatrox, right, which is certainly one of those niche cases. Also for GP as well, right, which we've all been terrorized by the Full Lethality one-shot kegs. Now his passive, Trial by Fire, that scales of crit chance. I think the kegs slow now scales of crit chance as well. And then Enchanters, obviously this was the patch where Enchanters got nerfed. So now the shield, although it gives you a little bit more from Janna, the healing and shield ratio is down a little bit, and the Monsoon actually scales a bit more of AP. So yeah, bring back AP Janna, I guess.
I guess we'll see if that one somehow shifts its way into the LCO today. But a few more changes, this time some big ones to talk about on this screen. I'm looking towards the bottom, and we've got objectives, buddy, everywhere buffed.
Yeah, the shorthand of this system change is that Drake's now a higher priority. Every single Drake has been buffed by 50% for what the buff provides. With the exception of Cloud Drake, they got a 100% buff. So that is a very big deal and big incentive for people to go down there. However, and we'll talk about this plenty today, Drakes are very beefy now. They have a lot of HP, especially when the Rift changes, and they take a long time to do, where Rift Tail just got an extra 200 local gold. So it's actually buffed even more, and people are going to be fighting for everything.
I will just add as well, though, Mac, with the Drakes, the Cloud Drake also was the only one to get its soul buffed as well, right? So really are trying to incentivize or try and push away the memes of Cloud Drake being the one that you don't want to fight around. I guess we really are ramping up for...
sprint now.
Oh,
it's not a joke, you sprint now.
It's full ramping up to just 5v5.
Okay, so maybe Hecarim back in meta, depended on which Drakes we're getting. Either way, let's jump onto the final page as well. You guys will see the rest of those changes coming into place today, and maybe some of these ones as well. Kitty, what does this all mean?
This all mean, well, all the sustain runes have been nerfed, but 2 of them actually have been buffed, so it's Scorch and Sudden Impact. But I do want to focus on the Challenging Smite and Exhaust nerf, because I'm quite the Exhaust enjoyer. I know people will flame me for this, but Exhaust is quite the broken ability in League of Legends. And with that being, I guess, weakened, and Challenging Smite has been the most broken thing that people know to League of Legends. Yeah, it is better to Exhaust. I believe we watched some series and all the pro players were like, oh, Challenging Smite should be just removed because it's so broken. You have everything on for like a 60-second cooldown.
Is that the LEC?
Yeah, I think it was the LEC.
It was 50-50 between Challenging Smite and Yumi for what should be removed from the pro players. That's not a joke. I agree with both.
What do you think should... Oh.
Exactly 50-50?
I can't pick.
Just those 2 things.
Yeah, well, there was like 1 or 2 other things here and there, but majority of the players that were interviewed chose one of those 2, yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, guess what, guys?
Based.
And true.
Guess what, guys?
Ding dong.
What, Mac?
It is time, once again, for my favorite segment, for your favorite segment, maybe even for your favorite segment, and definitely your favorite segment, the LCO Champion Conundrum.
Is today the day luck's with you? Is it now your life could renew? Then then you must play the game, cause I have to proclaim life's a game of chance.
The answer
Where's
is not
Matt,
banner
guys?
of command.
I've
Ha!
won.
I'm back. Guys, guess what?
What?
If you were watching the screen really closely, I just leaked all the answers. Today, we're going to be guessing the price again. It's essentially Price is Right. There's going to be a set of items put on the screen. You guys have a look at them.
Here we go.
Figure out roughly what the general cost of them are, and then write that down on your whiteboard and show us your
No
answer. You don't
80Ks
have to do the
today.
work in, but if you show the work in, you get more points. I learned that in maths in school. Either way, let's jump in to item set number 1. Remember, if you go over, you lose. You have to be the price or slightly under, and whoever's closest wins. Now, quickly, Skimmy, can you tell me the recipe cost of the Immortal Shield bow? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that's a really good story there, Mac.
Good story.
I'm actually trying
Yep.
to do some math here.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll put this over to Kitty instead.
Story's
what's
so
a-
cool, bruh.
What's a Doran's shield worth?
Yes,
And is it the same as a Doran's blade?
maybe.
Okay. We've got a few more. We got the Death's Dance there. What's that one do again? If you
I
kill
have no way to
someone
put my answer.
when
Lol.
the health's going down because that's delayed or slowed down, is it you get some of it back? You get some health back. You got 15 seconds not only to answer my question but finish your bloody maths.
What's the
square.
question then,
Do you want
Mac?
me, okay, do you want me to go exact guess, or do you want me to...
Ooh,
You want to
getting
win.
exact
Remember,
up in
you're
here.
winning. You
no, I
just
just
want
want, I want to get it exact.
You want to get it exact. But
What does Death
that's not
Stance
what it
do?
is. Anyway, it's been 15 seconds. Get ready. Put an answer down. No extra zeros this time. Thanks, Kitty. 3, 2, 1.
80,000.
Reveal. I'm not showing you the answers.
I have mine in my little square.
What have we got?
We have 1,200.
Oh, so
Wait,
1,200?
no, that's
12,000.
12,000.
12,000.
12,000, 11,950.
Are we actually so close to each other?
Ooh, guess what? We got a tie. Because it's 12,450.
Damn.
And Rusty
Damn.
was so
Nice.
close.
Damn.
So
What I
damn
missed.
close to being a 3-way tie. So congrats to Skimmy. Congrats to Kitty. You both won, even though neither of you got
nice.
it exact. You were.
Speed maths is hard. That's all I'm
I
learning.
want to.
Don't worry, there's more
play
questions
like
coming
Skimmy.
as well.
But
Yeah,
put a
great.
bit down, yeah.
Now, quickly, wipe your answers off. You're working. All right, we got a second item set to have a look at.
500 off.
Let's
Yeah, at least
throw it up.
That's really cool, though.
What have we got?
So close.
Oh,
Yeah.
less full builds, less mythics this time. I don't think there's a single mythic there. Skimmy, what's that thing on the bottom right? Is that a mythic?
Um,
I'm jamming to this.
Lord of the Rings, Sauron, it's the eye.
Oh, it is too.
Oh, yeah, true.
I didn't know that was in the
Da,
game.
da, 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 da,
Is
da.
it because it can see
Da, da, da,
everything?
da.
You know, even invisible and
Mac.
camouflaged champions? Crazy. I
That's
didn't know that was there. All right, and what are those boots? They don't give too much, do they? Or is it flat 25 movement speed? Or are they the Ionians?
Shut up.
You got about 10 seconds left to answer my question.
I've lost what
Baby
I've done.
Gourd Drinker there as well. It is an active item. What button do you use your active items on, Rusty?
I can't
When they're in the
think.
third slot.
I cannot think.
Do you
with
not have
doing
an
this.
active
Nah.
item in that third
Bruh.
slot? You got 5, 4, get an answer, 3, write it down, 2, 1,
Okay,
go.
can I write it bigger?
Reveal. Reveal. Reveal.
Then you're just not going to see it.
Reveal.
Oh, no.
You're just not going to see it.
I had to...
Like, can I write it?
5,025,
Yeah.
21,000 for Kitty. You already lost.
Kitty, how? No, but like...
Oh, she multiplied.
No, but like how, bro?
That's
course.
crazy when you're adding items, you multiply sometimes.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
You're actually out here just
chances.
content
That-
farming.
that
Let's be
or
Oh,
there's
honest.
like-
well, I'm leaving.
I figured out your strategy.
Did she put an extra
You're
zero?
farming Twitch clips.
Skimmy, what did you have, sorry?
5325.
5325.
I have 5025.
Let's have a look at what it is. You'll lose.
Damn. Hang on.
So my math just suck.
Maybe. Well, I know boots are 500. Right? Yeah, boots are 500. Iron Chain
Yeah, no, we
was
suck.
1100.
Okay, I suck, yeah.
I don't know where we both went wrong at the same
Hammerman's
spot somehow.
1100.
Oh,
One
wait.
1,000
12.
5300.
Sheen 700.
Bro, what
Control
am I on?
Wards 75.
Have I just added up wrong?
I can't remember what the challenging Smart Knife
450,
was.
300, 1100, 11, 7,
I was
and
gonna say I
75.
added an extra 0, but it doesn't
And then
make
it's
sense.
just the adding where we're failing.
Yes.
Maybe I just can't do math.
Carried,
We are.
carried
I
too
feel like
many
we got the same
ones.
numbers.
We're trash.
Carried too many
We're
ones.
trash.
Anyway, we've got a third one to have a look
We're
at. Pin
trash.
those whiteboards. Let's jump on into the
Gosh.
final one before we jump on
Oh,
into the action
support
here.
one. Here
Oh,
we
we
go.
got some mythics, Kitties. If you get this one wrong, I'm going to be so disappointed. This is all you.
No,
These
it's
are your
not.
right. You're a support, mate.
is
Guess the price is not for me.
One of them's
The car is
it
not mine.
Zeke's Convergence.
500.
Is that the one in the top left?
That is the top right.
Top right,
left
that's
is
the one.
Locket.
The Locket's in the top left.
You're
Moby's, of course. Is this a Shen build?
Closer.
Or is this...
No, this is a support tank. So this is probably Leona.
But is Shen not a support tank when he plays
Okay,
support?
Shen-
What's the support warding item at its full cost?
I've never bought
You
that
don't know
item.
what it costs?
I've never seen
At
it.
its full cost?
If you built Pike,
Well, you buy
this
it
build.
at its lowest
Okay,
cost.
okay,
What would
okay.
happen?
Thank you, Rusty. God bless you.
Okay.
and
I'm
why
just
is
putting this
there... Is that item in the bottom right? Like, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh wears like a little pyramid on his necklace?
Yes.
It's time to drop your answers. Quick, throw them up. Quick maths.
I
Quick
don't think
maths.
it's right.
I don't care if it's wrong. That's the fun of the game.
I don't know, bro.
3, 2, 1, show.
I had to, I didn't actually have the
Here it
maths
is.
done, so I just chucked in a number.
9.5.
I chucked in.
I did 9.6. Nice.
How close are we? All right. 10K? Yeah.
Nine-
Oh, right. Reveal. 9,700.
Okay.
Kitty, you were
Very-
slightly over.
Very
nice
close
try.
this time.
We were very close
9,600.
again.
96. So you're on.
Yeah.
Well, you win. You both 96.
I was 95. Just one shy.
Congratulations.
Turns out if you don't do math and you just throw a number out, you're more accurate.
It's so true.
There you go. So, now with that
Jeez.
one out of the way, I want to hear from you guys at home because you've heard a lot from me in particular while they were doing maths.
to be fair.
was good.
From the fans' time, tell us what
I'm
you
impressed.
listen to while you're queuing up for League of Legends. That's what we got. At LCO on the Twitter sphere, make sure you follow if you're not already. And if you weren't already following, now I'm just that much more appreciative of you. And I love you.
Thank you.
Sorry, they're just like getting stuff ready over there. Either way, let's see if we have any submissions already. I know that there were a few. I peeked on the Twitter sphere. Looks like we got Dar and Taurus. What do you listen to when you're queuing up for League? At least once this song, Shrine of Malice, The Awakening. Lyric video. Do you sing along as well? Please follow up, tweet Dar. Hit us with that one. DMCA may be spooky. Yeah, that's very true. We also worry about DMCA whenever I start
Did we
singing
ever think
songs.
about if we're meant to know what these songs are? Like, how do we...
Do
we
you know
always
what this
go,
one
wow,
is?
I don't know that.
The words make me think it's like...
Am I just pulling out
something like
Spotify
Shrine
right
of
here now?
Malice
Hey,
does
hey,
imply-
no.
Does imply...
No,
Put
we will
that
get in a
phone
lot of
down.
trouble. Put that phone down. One more submission quickly.
Cancelled.
Maybe not cancelled, but maybe you'll be fired. Coach Ash on Twitter. I've lost my mind. I've spent the night crying on the floor of my batter room.
Good for you, Ash. You look happy and healthy.
What's the artist?
It's Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, I just quoted it.
Yep.
Yeah, but did you say the name?
Reference the lyrics.
Good for you by Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh,
I didn't know Ash liked that kind of music.
it was so small I could have. I did do these.
Don't all four of us
Oh
need
wait,
glasses? Only
it's
two of
back
us
on
are
us. It's not actually from the fans anymore.
wearers.
Either way, it's time to talk about something special that's happening this week. So you guys may have a chance to one-on-one this guy, Rusty, or this girl, Kitty. And why, of course? It is because Game of Thrones, House of Dragons is coming out very shortly on Binge, at Binge on the Twitter sphere if you want to jump over there. So you guys go on to @LCO or lco.gg/HOTD for, House of the Dragon, exclamation HOTD in chat, and you can go in the running to play these guys in one-on-ones. If you beat them, then guess what? You get a chance
You
to
won't.
one-on-one mid... well, you beat them, but then you get a
won't.
chance to play Mid-Beast later on in the week as well.
Have you seen
That's
his
going to be a
visa?
whole lot of fun, so make sure you go into the running.
Unbeaten.
As I said before, exclamation HOTD in the chat. It'll bring up that link that's also up on your screen. If you don't want to type that in, follow the prompts, fill in all the bits and pieces, go in the running, beat them, beat Mid-Beast.
Try to beat them.
Try to beat them.
Just need to caveat that. It's
These
not-
guys are going to be playing cool dragon-skinned champs.
I'm not playing to
so-
lose, Mac, just to be clear.
Yeah, Rusty hates
Just
losing.
know Jews left the country after losing to
I
Rusty.
beat him in less than 20 seconds
Really?
on stream.
Oh my god.
Longer than it took to fly to LA.
That's ridiculous. Either way, I hope you're all pumped for that, and I hope you're all pumped for the first game of the day. It's time to jump on into it.
Twitch chat's
We
mad at
got
that one.
sorry. We got bloody Chiefs and we got Direwolves. My bloody eyes jumping ahead. So Tally, Arthur, Raze, Aladoric, and Tapoon, these guys are just undefeated at the moment, and they're looking to keep that trend going forward. Skimmy, can Direwolves do it today?
I believe so. It's ever so close now. It would be huge, yeah. As we've said before, leading up to this moment now, with 2 games left to go, if they could get a perfect split, it would be huge. Absolutely record-shattering as if they don't have enough at the moment, and would certainly put them in a really good spot for playoffs.
It certainly would. Now let's talk about Direwolves quickly and what they can do today, Kitty, to try to work their way into the game, because they've had a little bit of a rough couple of weeks with some players falling out, a couple of subs coming in, but now they're going to be tested against the Chiefs.
I believe Dials was the only team that went even against Chiefs in the first round robin, when we knew that Chiefs was basically unbeatable, and they even, I believe, beat PGG in quite a swift way.
Yeah.
But we do have the rematch once again for this third round robin, where I believe Dials had quite a rough week last week, where they went 0-2 with the Poppy, and I believe that this Poppy, this champion in the jungle, just doesn't work too hot for the OS teams. But I think from Chiefs' game up against Peace that they are solvable, but their macro is just so much better that you need to just make very smart decisions and not play into Chiefs' hands and play into their wing con, which I believe Dials can potentially do.
Well, Rusty, tell me about this one, because, Chiefs already with that 2-0 head-to-head. They want this win, they need this win, and last week we saw a little bit of shakiness coming out from them. So is that because Direwolves, not Direwolves, but the rest of the league have started to figure out what Chiefs are good at, how to beat them, or is it just, Chiefs doing Chiefs things?
I mean, last time we saw Chiefs play against Peace, which was the closest match that they had, I think in reality that was actually Peace playing really well.
Okay.
I don't know if necessarily that was Chiefs having an off week. I think that Peace actually just proved how good they were. And that was a drop in the ocean, shows that Chiefs are beatable, that they are a fallible team, right? That you can take them on if you're at your best and playing your best League of Legends. But I have my concerns with this team of Direwolves taking on the Chiefs, because I just think as a stylistic matchup, they get handled so easily. Human can't shine, right? And he's the most important centerpiece of the team.
Well, that's it, right? We've figured out a few times that, teams have figured out Direwolves, and if Human can't shine, then the team sort of falls flat, right? And now moving forward, Chiefs, they're probably going to be playing on that. Do you think Direwolves have come up with anything recently to try to change that going into this matchup?
I'm very curious to see how they approach this one, because Chiefs have been the standout favorite for claiming all these Drakes, right? Like close to 80% already. So now that the Drakes mean that much more, no doubt in my mind, they're going to play another very heavy early game team fighting comp and say, well, Direwolves, if in doubt, you kind of revert to these pick heavy comps.
It was Pantheon.
Right? So surely you're just trying to play something to either match rotations, like a Talia Pantheon, like you say, right? If those champions are left up and available, absolutely. Or you're just playing, some, I don't know, assassin mage like a Vex or, a LeBlanc or anything for Seaman to try and showcase what he can do in this last week.
Well, we'll see if that works for him. But Kitty, I heard you've got a friend on the line.
Big Z, Big Zorones in that big top lane. Welcome back to the LCO interview. How was your weekend?
Good so far. We're feeling pretty good knowing that we had players locked from last week. So in reality, this game doesn't really matter too much, but it'd be a big confidence boost for us going into playoffs.
So you don't think that it matters as much to try to jump up those standings in the last sort of moments? You're happy that you're just in playoffs because, is it goal achieved?
So I think this game likely won't matter for standings, because we play PGG next, and if we beat them, we'll have the head-to-head against them. So I don't think it actually matters too much for standings unless something crazy happens.
Okay.
Maybe something crazy will happen, we don't know, but that is what we're going to talk about next. So we did see the Poppy coming out of Dials 2 times last week, where I believe you guys lost in it as well. So tell me the theory behind this Poppy pick, because it does seem quite good on paper.
I mean, the champion's just OP. You get to an objective, you ult someone out of the fight, and it's a free dragon or free baron for you. And you can block all the dashes. I think most champions in the meta pretty much have a dash. So it's just a really good pick, and it's low economy as well.
I mean, you say it's broken, but you guys clearly lost on it 2 times. So what went wrong last week for you guys?
Look, sometimes you just have a bad day, and that's what I like to think last week was for us. And I think that when we're on our peak, we can beat any team.
I think so too, because we've seen you at your peaks. Let's see if you can do it today in this big matchup. It's definitely going to be a tester going into playoffs. Good luck, Big Z. We'll see what you can do.
Thank you.
I thought he was going to be like, thanks, Big M. Or
This is
something.
the first time he's heard that nickname fully shipped, though, isn't it?
We did create it last week, but this is the first time we're using it consistently.
Didn't we ask him if we could use it? I thought I did. I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's how these nicknames are
I
formed,
say
right?
lots of things.
Nicknames happen way
out
too
of
often.
nowhere.
We have an
Yeah.
interview, we say, hey, can I call you this? Yay or nay? And then boom, it becomes law.
Or we
Sorry,
don't, and we
Corporal.
just do it afterwards and found out Gunky Wunky doesn't want
He
that on
doesn't want to be
broadcast.
called
Oops.
that.
None
Don't
of
say
those.
I've said it again. By the
say
way,
that.
Dare fan vote time. Get those Twitch points in. Let us know how you think this game is going to go. Of course, I'm feeling like this is going to be a heavily Chiefs-sided. Direwolves, though, I'm keen to see what they can bring to the table today. Let's look at our predictions. Let's see how we think this one's going to roll out. Skimmy, why have you gone for Chiefs? I didn't do that.
Why have I gone for Chiefs? I just like the color blue, Mac.
Oh, okay. Kitty, what about you? Are you a blue fan too?
Not a
Well,
fan of
look,
green.
I went with PGG last week when PGG said that Chiefs were overrated, and that's exactly what I thought. And then I lost, and PGG lost very, very, very badly.
Okay.
So I'm never going against Chiefs ever again. I'm sorry.
So there is a world where if Chiefs lose today, that's when a lot of these predictions, a lot of these ties and stuff can get real damn spicy as well. So there is a very small chance maybe that'll be reflected in the Dare fan vote. But what are we sort of expecting this meta to do, or this patch to change the playstyles? Is there anything crazy going on?
We need to mention that Hex Flash has been disabled for tonight's games. I don't know how long it will be disabled for, but I think that heavily affects both Aldork and Bulldog because they like playing those playmaking supports where you want to have that gap closer over the wall or perhaps in any instance. So what do you guys think of this? Because we do also know that enchanters have been nerfed slightly through the items and healing.
That and the one-trick Poppy jungle,
The Poppy's
right?
gone, yeah.
That'll do Hex Flash off cooldown. So I think that's a pretty big nerf in a lot of ways, actually, for most teams that play their tank supports or Poppy jungles. I don't know exactly how much of an impact it'll have just yet, because I do think that we're starting to still see tanks of a different sort in bottom lane. And it's something that I don't think will have changed the meta too much, just what those champions do.
Okay, well, what about like the J4 and the Panth? Did they operate with Hex Flash, or is that like not in the runes they would usually
Pantheon
take in the
could.
jungle?
Yeah,
They
don't think he
could,
would.
but probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Nah, but he's going to be good, though. I expect,
gonna be
I
good
expect
anyway.
Pantheon to be 100% pick ban today, or I'll be sad. Also, Draven probably 100% pick ban again, like last week.
Okay, well, let's see if any of the new buffed or nerfed champs slip back into the meta because Champ Select's ready. Let's jump on into game number 1.
Very much, you two. Yes, let's see what happens in week 10. It's coming to a close, and it's been a long season, but it feels so short at the same time. Feels like being back in the studio has certainly accelerated things, right? So, 12-14, a brand new patch, and with that, a lot of new things that we can speculate and get excited for, but a lot of those common picks have been denied.
Yeah, first and foremost, Pantheon locked in. So we just get that one out of the way real quick. I did expect it to be really high priority today. I was really just coming into today, and I'm sure you feel this sentiment, hoping that OS kept up with the rest of the world on this patch.
Yeah.
Because we do sometimes find ourselves a week or two behind in overall meta. But we were quick to pick up the Draven as a pick ban champion. We've got the Pantheon. Draven's going to be banned. Talia's going to be
Here's the Vex.
banned.
That's what I wanted.
Vex is going to get locked in, so you've got one of your champions here as well.
Nice.
Vex and Wukong together is a really heavy set of engage. And also Zorones was one of the best Gwens that we've seen when it came to team fighting so far.
And we can't forget about that new Gwen build, right? The full Magic Pen variation, right?
Yeah.
Given a skip and slash has been slightly nerfed away, so you just do a lot of chunking damage. You jump onto a very squishy carry, and you certainly do one-shot them. I think you raise a really good point, though, about how OS can sometimes lag behind, because I think coming into this one, you asked the question, will teams stick to the same champions that have gotten to this point, right? Look to try and flex their mastery of that champion, or say it's a best of 1, 2 games left, especially these teams still fighting in that playoff contention.
Yeah.
Do we decide to try and play something a little bit spicy, something that teams aren't really too prepared for, and try and get, try and sneak in a win?
And I do think, for what it's worth, and we mentioned this during the patch highlights, LeBlanc could be a champion that rises in priority, but not if Vex exists, not as successfully, right? Because Vex, Lissandra, there's a couple of champions that are just out there very good at dealing with you. Ari's going to be the lock-in here for the Chiefs. Now, what this effectively means, right, is if you've gone for a Pantheon, Talia's banned, LeBlanc feels much less pickable here. You want something that still has a form of crowd control and damage that is of a magic sort that follows up with the Pantheon nicely, right? So Ahri and Pantheon can roam together.
Yeah.
Good damage mix, high damage mix as well. It is the full top side locked in here by the Chiefs, which does make me wonder if we're going to get, you know, like an Alistar style bot lane. Oftentimes, if you're playing a tank or engaged bot lane, you want to give it as long as possible to be able to pick that one. Both teams, I will say, have their share of engage already. So there really is flexibility with the bot lane 2v2 here, and that's where Chiefs, perhaps on red side, might have an advantage.
And I wonder how much flexibility Rusty's going to be left, because that's 6 AD carry bans. Misfortune obviously come back into the life of things, because she can be very annoying, very oppressive to try and deal with and try and shut down a lot of these carries that just have no mobility. We're working our way down to the likes of, you know, Kaisers, Ezreals, Samiras. Yeah, back to obviously the hyperscaling. Obviously, you know, Neela is still up there in the contest of.
Ray's also legit will not mind just picking a Karthus or a Ziggs if it fits the
bill.
If
they need an AP mage,
which is always possible. And Aladoric, without hesitation, could probably consider himself a Leona or a Nautilus, but Aphelios, as it stands, seems like one of the few really, really good ADCs that are still up and available.
Yeah.
A lot of the others are much less pickable. Like, you don't want to go for a blind Twitch. Direwolves could go Twitch Lulu if they want right now, right, in response to seeing the Aphelios, but probably not the direction Chiefs would have went.
You still got Yuumi up and available, so could have had the submarine comp if you just did want to pop up and, you know, and try and exert your pressure from the very get-go. But yeah, so many AD carry bans away, so we really are just saying anything can be played. Ezreal, I think Dante's certainly up there as one of the members that we would love to see it played from, and Bulldog certainly has shown his hand a fair few times now in this Bard if he does decide to lock this one in. Gives him a lot of pick potential, right? You lock somebody down, the Vex goes in with a Shadow Surge, the Cyclone afterwards, and you would have pick potential like Direwolves' bread and butter.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Bard fits Direwolves as a play style. They love their pick, like you highlight, so no hesitation there. They'll hover it. They'll confirm the hover as a lock-in. Bulldog, I think it's his 3rd or 4th time playing the Bard now as well. One of the only people that really does bring that out. Chiefs, again, you wouldn't expect anything surprising here. You see a Bard, you could go an Enchanter, right, to protect Raze on Aphelios. Wouldn't be terrible, but you're also now going to be the person that gets targeted relentlessly if you do lock that Enchanter in.
Yeah.
And their composition has plenty of pick, but they would like a reliable engage source.
They certainly would like a reliable engage source, and now they're going to find it, right? Obviously, you've got the point-and-click stun from the Pantheon. You can link that with the potential Everfrost version of the Ahri, although it is a solo AP, so might see a Luden's variation. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, a lot of CC strength as a mid-jungle pairing, but yeah, we saw just how good Aladoric is on this Rakan, rather on the Nautilus. Obviously, he's very good at Rakan, that's why it's being banned away, but it feels to me as if it's almost like a Gale Force Aphelios. You've just got to live. We've got all the engage.
Yeah, kind of does.
Just kind of live, and maybe we can beat them.
Best of luck. Go Flash Ghost and just sprint away at high speeds with Nimbus Cloak, because they're just going to run at you, and they are going to commit to the engage. They do have a lot of things to weather as well if you are Raze trying to get into team fights. It could actually be that we have the utility Aphelios, right? Purple weapon ults, things like that throughout these team fights, try and get the engages off.
Sure.
The big crux of Chiefs' composition here is that the Pantheon and the Ahri want to be free to move around the map, right? They're an aggressive early duo. You're expecting a lot of explosive action from them. They've got a Nautilus lane to path towards if they wanted to scale the Aphelios into the game. And then they have the options of a Nar side laning that can team fight. They have an Aphelios that, you know, 2-3 items starts to become an absolute weapon running around the Rift. So I would say this isn't like your standard multiple scaling lanes type of composition, but they scale fine. It's the Pantheon that you always look at. You're like, does that scale? Does it ever really scale? Pantheon, not as much as you'd think, but through all stages of a game can assassinate carries.
And that's exactly it, right? From what he lacks in scaling, he definitely provides with snowballing. He's going to be very quick to try and find those ganks, potentially very Jarvan-esque, right? Get the red buff, go online, level 2, level 3, look for that first kill and see if you can try and cheese a win. And I guess that's going to become the big highlight for me, is how Pantheon and Bard look to try and influence the map with their global pressure and their ability to try and find lanes to target and try and make them an unfair fight.
Yeah, because the big thing here for Direwolves, right, it's not just the Bard, it's the Bard moving with the Wukong. It's the Vex being free from mid lane for sure as well, right? There's a lot of things here to look forward to for Direwolves. Overall, team fighting strength in their composition. I have my eyes set firmly on mid jungle for both teams, saying what can they get done, what can they achieve, but there's a lot of risk in top lane. If the Gwen gets ahead, it's difficult for Gnar to exist. There's going to be level 6 kill threat up there, right? There's going to be a Bard from bot lane and a Nautilus from bot lane, roaming both to mid, to Rift Herald, and to top lane. So there is going to be a lot of potential action happening constantly through movements around the map. And then at the same time, the Aphelios and the Ezreal are just going to be left on their own island down in bottom lane, living a top laner's dream.
Absolutely.
It could happen plenty throughout this game. Also, Skimmy, we should note that 12.14 does bring back a little bit more Drake-based play. And so I do wonder just how that influences how these teams shot call, especially with the team fighting comps. Maybe they go to bot side, maybe they go to Drake instead.
Yeah, as opposed to, do we just do, what has been a common play now for many weeks gone by of just flipping the map at 8 minutes and, really looking to try and risk the game state over that first Herald and trying to sort of snowball from that. That has been a staple of Chiefs gameplay for the entire year, right? Get the first Herald, get 2 turrets from that and just unlock those side lanes, give them so much pressure to try and work around. Obviously would look still quite nice. With the composition here, right? Grand Skyfall comes in, you target a lane without a turret, fantastic, but you'd imagine that both these teams are going to try and showcase who is better at team fighting, and both team fight comps are built in that fashion. The buffs are going to be nice for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, the major difference is the Direwolves like pick comps, and they've been learning their team fighting a little bit more, right?
Sure.
Some of the weaknesses the Direwolves have had throughout this whole split, really, is that they start trying to team fight with comps that weren't built for it, right? They had a Poppy solo engage comp one game where they just kind of threw it all away because they had no choice but to engage somehow when they were falling further and further behind. This time around, the Wukong, the ability to have it engage in the jungle role shores that up quite nicely and is a major factor for me and having confidence in the Direwolves draft, but it still is centered around flanks from Gwen, pick from Bard ults and Vex getting those ultimates off to engage and getting resets, right? So that's the big part here where I think that Chiefs are just about killing someone immediately. Because there is resets on both mid laners in essence.
For sure.
But Pantheon is not here to do more than one Cyclone.
He wants to jump, empowered Q, you're dead.
He's going to swing his Wizzy Wand, and if you don't die, he's in a lot of trouble.
The shield goes up. It's expiring, guys. Why aren't we winning yet?
Oh, God, help me.
It certainly is going to be that. I think the biggest thing for me, though, is I suppose bringing it back to just how important Aphelios' job is going to be in this game, right? Because you're going to have Gwen jumping on your head, looking to try and assassinate you right straight away. A flash clone ultimate from the Wukong. You've got portals coming out left, right, and center. You've got a Vexus jumping in from an angle. So literally left, right, and center. Everybody's going to be beelining towards that one key target and saying, you got all these bruiser boys, but now no major source of damage. Yes, we know that Tapoon plays Gnar like a hyper carry, let's be quite honest. There's been times he's, racked up 40% of the damage as Mac just joins us in the background.
Picking himself a cheeky Mochar.
Absolutely. So I just think, Raze's job in this game is certainly cut out for him. But how crazy is it to me?
Don't spill it, you're wearing white.
That we get 6 AD carry bans. Wow.
That's not a test. I'm saying don't spill it because you're wearing white.
But yes, slight delay. As you can see, back on the screen here, we had the lobby crash. So a couple of minutes and we should be back into the mix of things. Get ready to kickstart this day.
Hopefully not too long, guys. And just to bring back what you were saying, I was listening while I was also staring at Mac.
By handsome Max.
Yeah, trying to grab himself a dare. Mac.
Oh, Max handsome. You can't really.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, look, it's the way it is. But no, the Aphelios and being able to survive, it's a nightmare for him, right? And this is the difference between both ADCs in this draft. Is it's easy to be an Ezreal. You first of all in laning phase, you can buffer Nautilus hooks with your E.
Yeah.
So you can shift out of that one. And it's a lot harder to actually lock you down. Also, if you time it correctly, right, the Pantheon will stun you, you still dash. So you can cover some extra distance. If there's a minion wave there, Nautilus can't follow up. So there's some things there.
Outplay potential.
Yeah, where for Aphelios, if the Bard goes for a stun, you can't dash. If the Bard goes to ult, you have to have flash. If the Wukong comes in on a flank, you just hold the L and try and survive and maybe kill him before he kills you.
Pretty much.
Right, you got to fight your way out of every situation. But I think that's what Chiefs want to do, right? Like, look at their champions and tell me they don't want to fight out of every situation.
It's definitely not going to be nuanced.
With the exception of Ahri, who can do whatever she wants, because Ahri is the easiest champion in League of Legends.
It's just going to be, here's a hook, here's a charm, here's a Pantheon drop. Why isn't he dead yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be dead. Like, as simple as that. I suppose really what I'm looking at from this angle, but I mean, yeah, bring it back to Direwolves, right? Just a skirmishing potential. Certainly to have the one shot to try and mirror that of the Chiefs, but definitely the fight is prolonged. If we are going to be having some Dragon and Baron dances, I would give Direwolves the edge.
I think it depends on Zorones for me, right? Like, obviously the engage is going to be important, but I think they've got enough of it that it'll just work, whatever it is. You throw enough engage at the wall, something's going to stick. It's more like who actually gets the damage off, right? Like Ezreal long range, self-sufficient carry, yes. Vex reset reliant, however. So either Ezreal pokes at the start or Gwen puts enough damage down to immediately secure a team fight win. And that's also the biggest point of variance for me between both comps is Gwen's scaling is nasty, especially with this full AP build, right? The Void Staffs, the Death Caps that we've been seeing from these Gwens now that just throw needlework like it's nothing. Zorones is definitely an X factor in this game, as of course every Gnar player is. And Topoon's Gnar is an exception to every rule on Gnar and Os because he's better than them all. He always makes it work. He somehow finds solo kills. He goes above and beyond the average Gnar player. So I would say that while we're going to enter this game very soon, thank you for bearing with us, we're looking at mid-jungle as a priority duo. I do look at top as an X factor, and then I look at supports as an X factor as well. ADCs just get to coast and try to get 300 CS in 25 minutes.
They certainly will, and that's where it becomes exciting, right? Because who can hit those breakpoints first in the AD carry position? Ezreal, cheap item spikes, obviously all the buffering in the world to try and negate what a Nautilus and Pantheon will be trying to achieve to shut that champion down, but it's Raze. And if there's one thing we know about him, he is an absolute weapon when he's given the chance to shine, and this is a comp saying, we will lock them down if you can just get those kills. Here we go, loading into week 10. First day, and it is the first game. Direwolves up against the Chiefs. Chiefs still undefeated, 19-0, firmly booked in for that first place position, only one game away from making it to DreamHack Melbourne. And as for Direwolves, they are fighting to stay in this upper bracket, which is exactly where I kick off the conversation here with Alexis, because, mate, here we are, 12-14 with a brand new patch. You've got some very tough opposition, but just how many curveballs were you willing to, I suppose, throw out in a best-of-one format to try and keep yourself in an upper bracket?
2,392 curveballs, I think we calculated. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The number crunching. Okay, well, talk to me then about this draft in particular, because obviously there was a fair few considerations about what we'd expect to see. Obviously, Pantheon's being picked up by their end, but it looks to me like, from your side, the biggest change-up would be in the mid lane.
Yeah, Simon's been loving the Vex. He says it's one of the funnest champions he's played for a while, so that's always good fun. But when they locked Pantheon and Gnar, we all just thought, nah, no way. Yep, I'm going to leave that one there.
You and your puns, mate. I've spent far too long in Discord to even give you a response on that one. Well, quickly on a final note, how have you found this new patch, right? Because do you think it's fair for us to say that, for the most part, this season you've been pretty oriented towards playing a pick comp, and it now feels a little bit more team fight tailors?
Nah, in all honesty, no, we do like picking for sure. Picking some puns maybe, but no, we've been piss chilling.
Oh, you're just chilling. Yeah, fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue with that. Well, I suppose on that note, I'll leave you to conjure up some more puns and we'll crack into this game. Best of luck.
No worries. Have a good one. See ya.
Poor guy set himself off, didn't he?
He was having far too much fun on
he
that
said,
interview, wasn't he?
It's like when you're shoutcasting a peace game and you don't want to say the phrase piece by piece, you do it once and you're just kind of stuck in this rabbit hole.
Yep.
He unironically said, yeah, nah, being Australian, and it just set him off for life.
Only notes.
Fight and bottom.
Here we go. Looking for that first blood. Raises the flash and aggressively. The ignite goes down. Now they just need to try and guarantee the kill is his. And then we'll find it. That's first blood. Dante's going to try and answer back, but he's spell slinging. He's got 5 stacks. He's doing a lot of auto attack damage. And as they're trying to disengage away, Raze goes, Aladora, just keep your eyes peeled for a cheeky hook.
Yeah, max stacks on the Ezreal passive, and the Conqueror was doing a whole lot of damage there. If it was just a 1v1 between Raze and Dante, Dante probably wins it. Poltron, as you said, hovering in the area. Can have a crack here. Note that Arthur was nearby, and that Scryer's Bloom effectively reveals where Arthur is, and Poltron immediately pressed B. He's terrified. He doesn't want to go in unless they face check him. But an early sweeper from Alidoric means that if they would walk to that tribush, they wouldn't be placed in a ward. So why would they walk to the tribush? So they're just going to back away.
Certainly are, and after having been question mark pinged there by Poltron to spend what feels like an eternity here in this early game, camping that bot tribush, expecting Arthur to shop, who's now going to plant a wall down, has double buffs, has actually got the double buff over Poltron now, and might just say, well, my bot lane wants to reset, so I'm just here to protect.
Yeah, I think Arthur might have been considering either a counter gank or to crash the wave. There was 3 range minions still left alive. That could have been held by Direwolves in more of a freeze if they would like, but their Ezreal also very due for a base. So I think they're just going to prioritize getting as much money as possible. But note that Chiefs haven't reset, and they might have been playing a little bit coy down in that bottom lane. Either way, we'll check in with top, see how things have been going so far. And overall, it's safe to say it is mostly just a farm lane. But as far as wave state is concerned, very happy for Topun and for the Chiefs, who now have a Pantheon pathing towards topside.
Yeah, they certainly do, and Topun will be very grateful, as you highlight, the fact that he was uncontested. Zorones walking away from the wave, so he's actually able to drag that minion away from the turret and hold it, and freeze and potentially open up.
They can stop this recall, Skimmy.
They can. Here's the Magical Journey. Raze has no mana. He does have the Graviton, but Alador is going to do whatever he can at the moment. Ignite is already being burned. He's just dead, I believe, because Poltron is here. And he's ready to hit them with the bonk. There it is.
Yeah, very nicely done by the Direwolves. It was as simple as the ward that you're seeing on your screen right now reveals the recall out of the bush from Aladoric. I mean, that's one of those things where like you want to save a second. Instead of walking to the bush to recall, you just want to press it as soon as possible. And the result is a Bard Magical Journey comes through and locks you down, and you feel a little bit sad about that one because you tried to save 1 second on your recall.
Yep, when min-maxing goes wrong, how to science, but it is always interesting for me, this bot lane. Yeah, absolutely. It's always interesting for me, this bot lane. I suppose the first showing we got was when Bulldog and Alador really looked to try and flex their might, right? It was the Rel Gragas matchup. Feels like these two are very actively keen to try and pursue 2v2s.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, most of the Chiefs are very happy to find themselves solo kills, and I think that Dante and Bulldog are never going to shy away from it. And the introduction of Poltron on his Wukong is no exception to that once again. Lots of little skirmishes to be expected here from both camps, to be perfectly honest. And one thing that you heard from Velixis in the coach interview that I think we should just reiterate is that Suman playing this Vex, first of all, is a new champion for him, so that's very exciting for the Direwolves camp going into playoffs.
Yeah.
If he does well on this, shows that he has another champion in the repertoire. It is harder to ban him out. In saying that, the style is effectively the same. And so when you look at Direwolves as a team, Suman is more of an assassin dive mid laner. The Ahri, the Akali, and the Vex all fill a similar fantasy in terms of team compositions. And Tally's always been equipped to deal with this, with the Lysandra, with the Swain, with his counter champions that sit mid-range, that he always plays. So it'll be good to see Suman on this Vex, has been buffed. Jungler's going to find each other. Arthur just going to say, get out of here. But it is Poltron Swamp, so he has reinforcements.
It certainly does, but right now those reinforcements in the bot lane are locked underneath the turret. Could be looking at that very first 4-man dive here as they zone them completely away from the wave. Tally jumps in there with the Spirit Rush, hits the charm into the hook, and lights out for Bulldog. He could do nothing there, Rusty.
Yeah, Bulldog actually tried to protect his ADC. Suman misses.
Just out of range. The
Shadow
Shadow Surge would have been huge there, but they just couldn't find it. Another hook and another jump as they pounce into action and remove the Wukong.
And once again, can we just quickly highlight that Dante is the only one with summoner spells, and everyone's trying to help Dante. He can buffer the E, and now it's Dante's turn because they're all dead.
Oh my god, look at that. Bulldog's just come back to lane. He's gone from the biggest magical journey back into the biggest grave.
Don't worry, guys. Poltron's on his way back from resetting. I think finally the Chiefs have no mana, but if you try and take them on at this point, you are so far behind. That is a level 7 mid laner. Poltron is going to put his face in, but they should be in base.
I mean, the minions, Rossi, just passively collected like 2 plates.
Yeah.
Just from waves crashing and no answer back. Oh, that just goes from bad to worse. I mean, literally every summoner was being burnt in the bot lane. It was just a 1-by-1.
And Bulldog's flash is finally back up. That's the one we've been fighting for. Yeah, look, the biggest thing there first and foremost is that Bulldog starts the playoff. It was really nicely done by the Chiefs, right? Arthur pushes Poltron out of the jungle. They bring Tally to bot lane, so you're expecting some kind of dive to happen there. That was really nicely navigated by the Chiefs. But then Bulldog tries to help Dante as a flashless Bard. Tally feigns the engage and actually just picks him off. And that really is the first step of the snowball, where the Chiefs go from a fairly even game to a 3,000 gold lead in a single play, because it just kept going. It was a carousel.
I think you're starting to see now the proof of what this comp is built to do, with just the layers of CC put together that can clearly take down multiple targets through multiple rotations of those spells. Could have been a bit of a different story if Simmons ult had landed. Perhaps they could have answered back, or at least deterred any further action taking place, but it wasn't to be. Nor is this first dragon. We are still playing as if we're on the old patch. Lanes have been flipped and first herald secured.
Yeah, I do think that as far as the new patch is concerned, you know, we spoke about this earlier today, but a 50% buff on every Drake, 100% on Cloud. Herald is still better. Herald just got buffed. Has no health changes, no exchanges of strength. It is just an extra 200 gold in the pockets of your team. With the extra potential of 320 gold from plates,
Here we go, though. Hold that thought for 2 seconds, because there is the Grand Skyfall straight into it. Fear, and then a flash jump. And Arthur says, well, I'm going to tank for as long as I can, but now I am dead. There is the Veil as Zorones tries to be tanky, but now it looks a little bit squishy. Tally with the charm is going to pick up a straggler into the waiting arms of that Dredge line as Aladoric cannot do lethal damage, and Bulldog will just limp away.
Yeah, Raze was starting to make his way to the area. Flash, blue weapon to throw the ultimate down. Could have been some kills. Tally also with the flash, but wasn't going to get vision onto Bulldog. So they're not going to get the extra kills that perhaps they were hunting for. That was nicely done by Direwolves in regards to their positioning. They got around the Chiefs' vision. They found a bush where there was no response, and then they kind of just caught Arthur looking to make a play with his ultimate. Unfortunately, the damage was dealt a little bit too early for the Direwolves to be able to react. And ends up just becoming a negative trade for them again. And what was 3k becomes 5k. We'll see this. Telly goes in, Charm Connect, full damage combo. Spear just comes down and wallops Human's health bar. And like you see, right, reinforcements get in, but it is a too little too late scenario. And Tally's done so much damage here. Charm will hit, hook or follow, but no vision once Bulldog gets himself to safety with the flash. They're not going to be able to follow after.
They certainly aren't. And what the Chiefs are still far away in the lead with a 5k margin to start harping on about. Would have certainly put themselves in an even better situation. There is the ultimate as the Moonlight Vigil only soaked up there by Bulldog. Another Shadow Surge has to be preemptively flashed away there by Raze as they turn their attention onto Aladoric instead. There is the Fear once again after missing the Spear, but looking to try and zone them back. In a 3v4 situation, he was on the Dragon as that play started.
To be perfectly honest with you, Skimmy, I'm not liking what I've been seeing so far from Suman on this Vex. Not a single ultimate is connected. He had a Wukong with flash and ult that he could have actually comboed with, right? Be a little bit more reliable if you want to find that engage to make sure you can follow through with the Shadow Rush. But either way, it misses. They do get a flash from Raze. But while they get the flash from Raze, it's the case of Direwolves getting their second once again, and the play still being a favorable trade for the Chiefs that results in extra mid waves being crashed, a plate mid and a wave missed from Suman. So a 10 CS lead grows between mid laners and a Drake to follow up afterwards as well. The Chiefs not even just being a step ahead, but just being better in their 1v1s or their 2v2s and finding these opportunities. Direwolves just second to respond to every situation, always being too far behind.
They certainly have been, and I think that's a good reason for us to, I suppose, enjoy the fact that Hero was picked up so early up, because how many plates were found in that bot lane from that, what felt like a prolonged 1-minute fight? You summon it instantly topside afterwards, and now you find yourself in a very advantageous situation, right? Raze,
Raze's plate
worlds
gap.
ahead.
Oh my god. Wukong coming back bottom here as well, Skimmy, but the Ahri and the Pantheon are following Poltron. He's level 6. He doesn't get to play League.
And he's been jumped upon with the stun. He's been charmed despite becoming a clone. Has to flash away and jump through a very tiny magical journey, but a good one nonetheless. But Tally is still on the hunt, looking for a target and looking for a charm.
Gets the flash from Dante. Flash from Poltron, flash from Dante. Nothing really left for Direwolves. They've been kept at bay, they've been handled. They have been bodied out of bottom lane. And that will just be another turret going the way of the Chiefs into the pockets of Raze. As if this Aphelios wasn't accelerated enough. Now he is a lethal weapon.
Certainly is. No doubt, back to base. Mythogarden will be complete, as is his teammates. Gore Drinker here for Arthur's Pantheon, and there is the Everfrost, right? So despite being the sole AP, still wants more CC. I like it.
Is very pick-centric, of course, with the Pantheon, so it has some degree of sense there. You can still go Everfrost into full AP afterwards, but we'll find out very soon if that stopwatch does become a zone user, or if he's just going to, stop into a full AP build.
Sure.
To be seen. Of course, you can consider that the Shadow Flame type of build when you are the sole AP. They're not going to be building magic resistance after all.
But there is that Gale Force as well, so keep your eyes tabbed on Flash and Gale Force to really see where things are at for this Aphelios, which will have a big X painted on his back. Arthur jumping in once again, looking for a target. There is the Fear on towards him. Shield goes up to put him close to Mega. Ignite on his head right now, ready to try and leap into action. He's got flash as well in a corridor like this. It would be so good. True Shot Barrage doesn't really do much to deter Chiefs. They are still inside your jungle and just suffocating you with pressure from every lane.
Yeah, they're looking at winning the mid 1v1. They're pressuring top lane. You can see Top Moon just off cooldown has been throwing this Meganar ultimate. While he's got nothing but an assist in this game, They're winning everywhere.
There it is, Gale Falls, Gravitum ult, and they just lock them in play because the wraparound from the jungle, it comes in and it looks ever so clean. Bulldog, though, answers back with a shutdown, and in the same space, survives on 10%.
Nicely done by Suman in that little play there, right? Tally dashes forwards, had cleanse and flash to my knowledge, but just gets feared up under the turret. Aladoric hooks the wall to confirm that the wall is in fact made of rock. It is. He can confirm that it is a solid object. And Chiefs still, I feel like, coming out relatively ahead from that trade, but money into the pockets of the Direwolves is sorely needed.
Certainly
When
is.
8k down at 14 minutes.
Yeah, 3 became 5, now 8. And yeah, you're really now looking at those next objectives, which are about to spawn with the second Herald and the top side of the map, and a Drake to look at in 2 minutes as well. Being big targets for you to try and find that ticket into this game, because certainly the bot lane experiment of trying to shut down this Aphelios hasn't proven to be too successful just yet.
No, but also at this point, like, what do you actually do to shut down the Aphelios? So no matter how much damage you have, you're going to be face to face with a team that is just so much stronger than you. But to do so probably requires an early pick or such an exceptional engage that it compensates. 8k down this early is game breaking, to be frank. The other alternative is you probably just have to play around item spike timings, as Bulldog is in a whole world of trouble.
Yeah, he's just going to get run down.
5 levels down.
Does Tapoon follow that? He
Yeah,
certainly
he
does. He jumps him through. He's going to hit Mega. He flashes, and there's the shove. Oh, the flash away from the boulder. He could be in trouble. I think he's just dead, and that was a beautiful bait. And this Bulldog Bard, man.
Extra 150 gold given from Tapoon's timely death there. Humans turn top.
Looking for an instant flash away. It says, hang on a minute, you're on the wrong side of this lane. They're hunting for him. They still have vision. I think he's managed to escape.
Flashes away from his own turret. Finds safety in the middle of the jungle. Arthur doesn't know where he is. So unless he had a sweeper to use, he won't find him. Keep in mind that Arthur has Herald, not sweeper. So he shouldn't get any information on where Human is. How does this Vex play?
Cancelled his recall. There is the personal space. Now looking for the damage afterwards. The jump upon him.
Teleports are in.
Empowered shield and looking for the damage and saying, Vex, why are you still here? You should have just recalled.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's dead.
Yeah, he stayed. He stayed for a very long time. Put up his tent. Just decided that bush was belonging to him. Perhaps in his mind he was able to take on the Pantheon, but as far as I'm concerned, the Merc Tread and a Gore Drinker makes him too tanky already. He also didn't really have the damage without the ultimate. So, nevertheless, he'll get punished. Direwolves did have reinforcements coming towards him, which I believe is what he was really waiting for. Left waiting even longer.
Certainly are. And this really would be putting a rabbit out of a hat if they can find a way back into this one now, because you are certainly looking at 2 Drakes being picked up, 2 Heralds being picked up, and 8k fast becoming 10. Not even at the point of Baron spawning yet, and those numbers are, as you would say, fairly unrecoverable. But regardless, we are looking at a 9,000 gold Aphelios, 2 items complete, 17 minutes in, and some.
Quite a large Aphelios, quite a large ADC here for the Chiefs. All summoners up very shortly as well for the Chiefs roster bar Tapoon. And would you believe that the Direwolves, they smell blood.
Yeah, does Tapoon fall victim to this one though? They're waiting patiently. He's going to leash the Krugs, but he's checking everywhere.
He is so quick as well. If he had the Hyper Proc on that Trinity Force, he just sprints away from you. They didn't want to pull the trigger. They didn't want to take any unnecessary risks. But meanwhile, the Chiefs, they're going to push mid-wave out. Tapoon's going to translate his way from top to mid. They're going to summon their Herald for bottom. Can do no wrong in reality.
Yeah, goes to Tempered Fates. That denies the play on that Herald, but Chiefs have a 2-pronged attack. They're attacking mid at the same time, looking for another turret. Poltron jumps in, looking for a target. Onto Tally, forcing out his ult, who's down to 50%, but forced to try and clone away. Dante's just dead! Soloed by the Pantheon.
As with both summoners gone as well, right? Just so much CC there. Poltra one hit, so's Tally.
Oh, he just flashes in, realizes that Arthur could have secured that kill. And now he is on the great chase. Feigns the fact that he's a clone, and now, at the last moment, jumps away. Tapoon looking for it, shoves absolutely nothing, because that was a very cheeky magical journey. But Arthur's had enough of it, said, stop playing with my food, I'm getting it done, jump on you, and take you down for an easy second. Looking for it, Tapoon. We'll find it.
The cheeky monkey just keeps dodging our abilities. Arthur did say, I am sick of that. Just pops him with a Q. The tap crit, 560 damage coming out of the pockets there of a Pantheon. Can't complain if you're the Chiefs. Now, Zorones, gonna have a look at Raze in a second. Let's see how this goes.
That's looking like a shutdown if I've ever seen it right now. There's no Grand Sky.
Is it though? It's a red weapon.
I'm not too sure. Regardless, Zorones is looking for the needlework. He's going to go for the snip. It's about who can get the
Bloodthirster.
more damage. It's so close. Oh, they take each other down.
Did Raze flash on the spot? Because it looked a little bit like Raze flashed on the spot. If he was able to space himself away from a snip, perhaps from Zorones, he actually does kill him there. We'll see what happens in mid lane first and foremost. Double summoners there from Dante. It was a nice flash away from the Nautilus hook, but there's too much targeted crowd control. Nautilus ult, Pantheon W. Makes it so easy for the hook and the charm to follow from each respective other member of the Chiefs. Tally, in part, dying to the turret, but Poltron secures it, presses S, is waiting for his W timer, and gets himself out. Arthur says, actually, no. There is no safe space for you, even if there's 3 people there. 580 from McHugh. Rest of the team fight, pretty straightforward here, right? Topoon just gets the Hyper Procs, runs him down with a nice little ward there to make sure the auto happens.
He does. Let's watch this one back again.
I'm convinced he flashed on the spot. So red weapon couldn't have been timed better. Ult still connecting. Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Yeah, he really does. It's really hard to do sometimes, right? When you are kiting. Like, I know we have high expectations for pro players, but clicking the enemy champion while trying to flash away at the same time can sometimes get your wires crossed.
Certainly when you're really looking to try and weave in perfectly every single auto based on your current attack speed margins.
Your red weapon Bloodthirster, if you miss an auto attack, you probably still lose it anyway.
For sure. Can't hit him on that play. Regardless, though, they'll also be very happy, especially Zorones now, who now finds himself that second item, actually opting for the Nashers too, a bit of a different variation here. Out goes the TP, and down goes Aladoric. Another needlework from Zorones, looking for another target lock on down. That's all set the flash away from Arthur. Shot barrages there, raised across the wall with the chakrams, looking to try and zone them back into Poon.
Topoon wants this. Look at him.
He's still stepping forward, still hunting, still game to try and land an ult, but that's on cooldown. He has a flash, but what would he do with it? Arthur jumps on in with the Skyfall. There's the Tempered Fate, and they found 2. Tapoon locks the entire team against the wall. Buys time, waits at the 2 CC durations, and there is the Pounds, Everfrost Charm, and there is nothing that Simon can do.
It's a back and forth little skirmish, and it felt even for a second there, but Direwolves are 10,000 gold down, Skimmy, and at the end of the day, Chiefs just have bigger punches and more money in the wallet to throw at you with those punches, much more weight behind them. And they'll be able to win the team fight, win the skirmish overall, because there's not many deaths from it. And they'll go straight towards the Baron buff. Red-white, Raze at his strongest. And it's a very free objective for them.
Picked up in an absolute heartbeat, wasting no time whatsoever, and Direwolves are feigning. Do we go for this dragon? Well, you certainly can't now. Poltron low on HP and Dante low on mana. You need your team to come back.
Dante being very annoying for Aladoric, but also is running low on mana. The ward spots them. You wouldn't expect those recalls to be human for... Yeah, here they go.
Oh my god, a depth charge that literally knocks up all 3 members just like that. True Shot Barrage goes across the last stretch of mana that he has. Tapoon looking to zone him away, as is Tally. You can go for that journey. But do I follow him? I know that the Vex is on the other side of that one, so we'll just pick up a Drake instead.
It was quite a large magical journey. If it was a shorter distance, as a world Tally considers it, has the flash and 1 charge of the ultimate, but nevertheless, the Chiefs will secure the Drake after they secure themselves a 2-for-1 trade. Both jungle is gone. Still too much damage and health available for the Chiefs. That recall from Direwolves just quite simply was not in a good spot. You've just, first of all, thrown about 60 skill shots at the enemy support who's off a reset, so you should know that he has wards. Speaking of supports.
That is the support. And that is a flash. And that is some empowered Baron minions trying to finish the job for you. Not the case.
Kelly's taken so much damage from turrets this game. I wonder if that's the thing that's done the most damage to him.
We're still confident to go for a 1-stack Magias.
Yeah, also has the Shadow Flame, so he's doing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
We'll see this again. Aladoric gets picked off really early into this fight. Doesn't actually get to use the ultimate, so just keep that in mind for that follow-up trade that happens afterwards. Arthur flashes away, but has the ultimate to get back in. And Topoon is mega, so from now on, he's an issue. And Direwolves know that. He jumps forwards, they disengage. But then Arthur comes in, nice Bard stun, and they see an angle. And we don't see the angle anymore.
No, we're not allowed to see that angle. We're allowed to see the play that's happening right here on our screens. Oh, he's missed the hook. And now it's a Tempered Fate that's locked in place to Poon. The backup is there. He's going to try and disengage to the right-hand side whilst he's got raised to his top. Moonlight Vigil lands onto 2. And that's a shutdown removed onto Tapoon. Now looking for more target and looking for damage. Ray's completely untouched. He can't be locked in down by this Vex, but the Pantheon is here and just cycling through key members. loading down the damage with this Black Cleaver and making him ever so squishy that you can flash across the wall, but I'm coming for you.
And just chases him to the ends of the earth. And a lone human without an ultimate is left standing. Can the Vex stop 4 people stronger the Chiefs here with Baron-empowered minions for the moment, for this wave, to try and perhaps end?
And stylistically, I love the point you brought up about Simon just being a champion that would fit the bill, much like the Akali, the Assassin, and the Mage playstyle, but it just hasn't hit the bill here today. And now he has to try and defend this base on his lonesome. 10 seconds left on his Baron buff, and it's just gone! 0-4 on the day! 24 minutes in, and Chiefs want to wipe the floor with them. They want to wrap it up. They want to go on to the Nexus, but will they pad their KDA just a fraction more? You better believe it. You want those damage stats up there. And Raze, he wants that MVP, so he's looking for those multi-kills right now. Takes down one, but Tally secures it. Now on a killing spree as Dante's forced to flash into absolute Narnia, but there is the double for the Aphelios. There is the tempered fate for Bulldog to say, please, show a little bit of mercy. But Chiefs will not, as they're 20-0.
Yeah, no mercy given, no quarter. Chiefs will basically just wipe Direwolves off the face of the earth in that game. It started early, it continued relentlessly. It's something you expect to see first and foremost from their draft, but they played it out without hesitation. They push mid, they use their mid-jungle duo, they go to bot lane, and they get Raze ahead, who just quietly might actually be looking at an MVP for once. I just wanted to...
I know, I'm so excited for him. I'm so excited for him, Mac.
Yeah, look, we did definitely discuss the idea of that, but look, we'll bring up who we think may be that Dare MVP a little later on. But for now, that game, thriller from Chiefs, just diving to tier 2s in multiple different lanes, having a whole bunch of fun. And Direwolves, it just felt like the execution never went as planned, so a little bit unfortunate for them.
It was a little bit unfortunate, and I believe we saw the Vex in a very long time, where I did mention to Max that Dials really relies on this Vex landing her ulti for these team fights, because if we look at Chiefs' draft, they have a lot of go buttons with the Pantheon, Nautilus, and even with the Ahri, but looking at Chiefs, their only really significant go button is that Wukong, unless Vex hits that ult, and I believe for 2 very important team fights, she just missed by a little bit, which is a big shame. And I think the main thing was what Rusty was saying, that Vex never got mid lane priority up against this Ahri, where she was able to just roam bot and punish Dante so severely, where even through the draft phase, we saw that they had 5 bans on ADC players, 3 coming out of Chiefs, so they know that Suman already gets naturally countered by Tally, so they focused on Dante's champion pool to limit his carry potential, and that's also what we saw from this game, so Dante was very, very punished this game.
Just live that one again, you know, just for everyone in Twitch chat who enjoyed that. You noticed it, Kitty noticed it, we watched it back, and then everyone noticed it. So a bit unfortunate that that one got the highlight, but same time, you know, great job for them both killing each other, doing their jobs. Big fight here as well, definitely making it look pretty damn good for Chiefs. I was actually back in Tally to go on that magical journey as well.
Me
go
too.
for the chase. It's like, come on, just go for the cheeky 1v3, you bloody scallywag.
Like when Elise hits a Q, you know, all of you wants to follow it. You see a portal, you're like, oh, I got it. Like,
He learnt from Tapoon's mistakes earlier on in the game, though.
Tapoon didn't stop though. Tapoon didn't learn.
He's having a lot of fun. He always has a lot of fun, but this game certainly was a lot of fun. Good shot from Direwolves to, you know, give it a good hard crack, especially in a couple of those fights.
I think this game is just the prime example of why Pantheon is pick banned in other regions, because once Pantheon gets that early tempo and he just keeps snowballing that lead, and that's exactly what we saw paired with a Nautilus, which is a hard engaged support. They just dominated the entire map, where I believe Dante missed out on at least 4 or 5 waves in that bot lane, and Raze was even able to pick up at least 8 plates. So really dangerous champion to let go in the chances.
I think, yeah, as you say, I think the biggest thing for me was just the ease of execution from Chiefs comp, right? The fact that their mid-jungle could just literally pounce upon somebody, charm, then the Everfrost is out there as well, and you got Aladoric saying like, hey, I'll put my hand up, like, let me join in on the assist train, cool, woo! That guy's actually not having any fun playing this game. He's playing Ezreal, but our Aphelios has 2 more items than him. How cool is that, guys? So, yeah, bit of a roughie.
Bit of a roughie indeed. Someone that didn't have a roughie was my man Raze, and we got him on the line. Quickly, I'm loving your new hair, mate. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Well, we are all enjoying this new Ray's hair. It's looking quite fresh. I believe everyone's getting new hair on this Monday, but let's talk about that game. So we saw the Pantheon and Nautilus being locked in from you guys, where we saw a lot of focus on that bot lane. So was this the original game plan when you headed into that game up against Styles?
Wasn't really how we planned. Well, after like the draft is over and you see like their bot's pretty easy to exploit with diving, and like we have a really dive heavy comp, so didn't think it would go as good as it did on the game, but yeah, really happy with how the game played.
Okay, so one game remaining to make the perfect split happen. How are you feeling with Kanga at the moment? They've been undefeated up until this point. Are you worried at all, or are you thinking that you've got it?
Not really worried. I don't think any of us are expecting to lose to Kanga. I think they just like draft very predictably every game, and somehow they like get the same drafts. So I don't think we'll let them have what they want, and yeah, we'll just smash them probably.
Excited to see what Chiefs has in store for us next. But I do want to talk about the MVP for tonight, because I do know that you also have had a little bit of rants coming from Aladoric where you think some of those MVPs are undeserved. So for tonight's performance, let's ignore the flash that you did up in that top river.
Yeah.
Who deserves
We can ignore that.
MVP raise?
Besides me, or am I included?
You are included, of course.
Oh, then I'll just give it to me. And I just want to say that I don't think Aladoric doesn't deserve any of those MVPs. I just don't. They were just games that other players on my team didn't deserve MVP.
But
Like that guy, he stole one of my MVPs in 0 games, so I was pretty upset. The last Direwolves game, actually.
if he gets it today, would you say he's stealing it, or do you think it was deserved?
Yeah, like in the Zeri game I got stolen from, I died once, so this guy could get a triple kill, and that was the reason I didn't get it. And this guy's died. I don't know. I checked the stats and he died twice, so I don't think he deserves it. Even though I like entered the top, like I carried from the early game, so I mean it was a team effort, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, look, you got the 20th W. We'll see if you get that 21st tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll let you go and get ready for tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Miru's being a bit of a cheeky bug in the background. Jesus Christ.
just clowning on him there. Anyway, we started the discussion already. Their MVP time. Who do you guys think it is?
I would say either Raze or Tally are my current options. I think that Aladoric had a really good game. I don't think that Topoon played the game. He was just doing his own mini game of Mega Naring off cooldown and seeing what was there.
Sure.
But I think that Tally, with mid priority, worked with Arthur to make the game so easy for bot lane. But at the same time, Aladoric wasn't missing hooks, and everyone played well.
Okay. What about Arthur as well, though? Because he had some ridiculous KP.
It was alright.
Yeah, it was alright?
No, but I wouldn't give it to him over Raze.
Okay.
I'm not even biased from the interview. I still was going to, like I said, Raze before we gave it to you guys after the game. So
Yeah. Pity.
Okay, so to be fair, we did mention that I believe Arthur had 9 KP when Chiefs was sitting at 11 kills.
Yeah.
So he was heavily affecting that early game. But now that Rusty's mentioned that Tally had constant prior in that mid lane, where it actually snowballed into those bottom skirmishes, which put Raze ahead. I don't want to be that guy, because Raze, he carried, right? But
Yeah, Raze.
who doesn't carry when you have kills
Medusa?
being spoon-fed to?
Raze.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I think Ray's gonna
our
flame.
Kiwi brother over here has put the foot
Oh,
down.
Churro, let's get it done.
Let's
Lock it
get
in.
Raze.
Who are we locking in?
Lock in Big Raze.
Their MVP for the first game of the day is the big man down bot. It's Raze with a beautiful looking hair color, rather,
Hair
coming
dye?
into today. I'm sure there was a little bit of a snip in there too. Either way, 10, 1, and 5. That one death, of course, was caused by those snips. So very unfortunate on that, flash on the spot. But other than that, 65%
That was
KP.
a good segue, Mac.
Yeah.
That was clean.
No worries, brother.
kills, one
25%
haircut.
damage share, doing the most damage on the team.
10
And a
kills,
whole
one
bunch
fade.
of plates is 27% of that gold as well. So big game from him. Self-dubbed as well, self-crowned before we did wrap up that interview. So he knew it was coming. Now, you guys know what's coming up next?
Another match.
It's
Certainly
match
is.
of the week.
It is going to be the match of the week. So you guys don't go too far. Match of the week is that second game of the day, and it's going to be a belter. It's going to be a scorcher. Make sure you don't miss it. It's coming up just after the break. That's Order. That's Kanga. You guys better be there.
Have a look at Raze in a second. Let's see how this goes.
That's looking like a shutdown if I've ever seen it right now. There's no Grand Sky.
Is
for
it
try
though?
and
It's a
back
red
you up.
weapon.
I'm not too sure. Regardless, Zorones is looking for the needle work. He's going to go for the snip. Snip is
The
about. He can get the more
bloodthirster.
damage. So close. Oh, they take each other down.
Hey, look, menu bomb.
It's time for match of the week, baby! Woo! And just so you all got to experience